#1 seed, but I think a team that, like we've made mention to before, a new household name, a favorite that everybody can enjoy watching off the kickoff. This one goes JNAP's side, but their Swiss round in Copenhagen was so impressive. We're all just waiting to find out, can FURIA recreate that 3-0?
Yeah, FURIA, who went 3-0 in the Swiss, as you say, and then hit a Vitality-shaped brick wall in the quarterfinals, want to go even better this time around. Up against OG Esports, though, who have proven time after time that they have fight in them, if nothing else.
They really and truly do. They've taken the long run as far as the season was concerned to proving their name. When the season first started for this OG squad, everybody had them in their top 3, their top 4 even at times, and it didn't start out that way. They were a bottom 16 team that have worked their way up to the top, and now they kicked out teams, you know, like LG, taking down the likes of Gen.G even to get here, but they're not even favored in this matchup.
Well, we'll see how they can deal with that. The desk overall were pretty hot on OG in the end, but they're having to do some early defending as a shot flies in. JNAPS comes in from the side. Here comes Yan. What can he do? He was called into question on the desk somewhat. When is he going to make that claim as the best in the world? Is he still at that caliber? It'd be great for him to make a statement here, Herc.
Yeah, I definitely want to get first person on the board as quickly as possible here. It's Noli around the corner. Tried to find somebody, but Jorfinho. FURIA, they're known for their pressure. They're not going to give OG any space whatsoever. An attempt to the 50 towards the backboard from Yan. Second touch goes potentially through, but it's a Noli save on the goal line. Pressure doesn't stop here. It's low boost for OG, but last-ditch efforts are still proving successful.
Yeah, Noli holding his nerve, staring Yan down, waiting for him to go to the ceiling. Can he do so again? It's Noli up against Yan, and Yan ain't gonna lose twice.
There was no connection on that ball from Noli, and again, I made mention to the low boost on that OG side, and even low boost for Yan, but it was enough to get that last touch over, and FURIA goes 1-0 on the board.
Yeah, I love that from Yan. He's already been slightly frustrated once. That's a second opportunity, barely a few seconds later, and it doesn't seem to affect him at all. It never does. Here he is, taking another touch. Noli, the man who controls the pace of OG Esports. He tees up JNAPS. Coming in now is Calm. He tries to get the early equalizer, and there is Yan on the goal line. The man looks hot so far today. Can he keep it up?
This one around the corner here, out into the mid, up and over one. Calm's gonna slow it down over to JNAPS. Noli got to race up in the air and just keep this one in the hands of OG, and they do. Calm, the one that everybody's been keeping his eye on, he is a great initiator for this team, great at deciding the pace of play that they want to do, especially against a team like FURIA. You've got to be able to match that pressure.
Yeah, it does seem so far that OG Esports more than happy to slow this one down, try and dictate the pace, try and get it on their time frame. FURIA always going to try and break through that. They're going to try and force the issue as much as possible, peppering these shots on the blue net. Another one here that falls as far as Jorfinho, one of the louder players in South America, certainly, maybe even the world. I'm hoping there'll be some sort of verbal battle between him and Com. That could get a little bit spicy as the series wears on. But so far, it's been calm and quiet, potentially before the storm.
I think right now OG, they're really locked in. It's only a 1-goal game, which probably feels a little odd for them. I think OG would have expected them to respond already. It's been a little bit more difficult to break past that midfield and have enough opportunity to take shots. This is one of the better ones, but even then, it's a very slow center that turns into a quick and easy transition for FURIA.
The patience game as well from JNAPS. He had half a chance to attack that ball, but I think he realized he would have been dunked, would have led to another chance for FURIA, so instead just pulled himself away, kept the attack going, but now it's FURIA down the other end. A huge demo helps out Yan, but it's 2 goals for Yan.
You saw that demo a million miles away. As soon as Calm missed that one, it was just full-fledged open opportunity for Yan to take. FURIA go up 2-0.
And of course, when Lost first joined FURIA, the question was, can this supremely attacking being fit in with his new teammates? And it took FURIA a while back when they were in North America, but slowly but surely they managed to figure things out, as Yan's going to have to try and re-adapt there. He's not able to. It's a big mistake, and JNAPS is in.
That's a huge amount of pressure from JNAPS as well, and again, it comes down to trying to match that pace of play. It just was a little awkward for Yan. You got to admit it on that one, and you're taking advantage. You're forcing the ball through at that point. A minute, 21 seconds. You got enough time to try and equalize here if you're OG, but it's got to come in quicker than it has in times past.
OG, who Torwent was saying they are desperate just to get out the Swiss. That is priority #1 for this team. A goal here in the next 70 seconds or so would give them a huge springboard. But first, It's just more defending. It's just more brilliance from Jan.
This is pure offense right here. This is the player that everybody has kept their eyes on. So mechanical and clean. The reset over. I mean, Jaffinho wanted to maybe get a second touch on it, just secure it in. But no, credit goes to where it is due, and FURIA go up by 2.
When you're up against FURIA, the last thing you want to see is a 4-minute Jan hat-trick. Is him demanding the ball, is him doing everything with it. Even the mistake that he made earlier for OG's goal doesn't seem to have phased him at all, but OG may be back in again until Lost streams right in. There's a second touch too to send Nolly on his way. Does Com. Nolly's gonna try and get round this one. Suddenly it's OG that have to up the pace. Suddenly it's OG that have to force the issue. Suddenly it's them that have to get themselves on the score sheet, but FURIA doing more attacking. They will never stop fighting up against OG Esports right now. Com flies in, Nolly now around the corner. They're desperate to get this ball. It's just not happening for them.
They really want to try and do the team play effort to get around the FURIA defense, and clearly everything is getting either intercepted or pre-predicted. And at that point, you got to ask yourself, what else can you do? I feel like you got to start going for the individual plays, allowing someone like Com to maybe step up, and we all made mention to it. But there is one player that we all have eyes on, and it's Nolly. You're waiting to see, can he have that spark of life that you know can give OG a win? But for now, it's 4 seconds left on the clock. FURIA's up by 2. There's nothing left you can do other than head into game 2 as this one hits the ground. FURIA will take game number 1. Happened in Copenhagen. They want to start off strong with the right foot forward, but it's really tough when you're going up against the likes of FURIA.
Well, all eyes now to OG Esports. They struggled in Copenhagen, going 3-1. Disappointing from them on the occasion. What will they have learned from that experience? What can they turn to now? A team that had to make a Game 7 overtime winner 4.5 minutes into a Game 7 overtime until upset the man you've mentioned, Nolly. He certainly has the grit and guile that OG Esports are going to need here. And
I did look into the stats of these teams a little bit. Should we ever head into OT, FURIA is actually favored in that. They go just over 50%, near the 60, but OG at around 48% when it comes to OT. So if you are OG, you gotta get your goals up early in these games and hold on to those leads. But for now, FURIA doing exactly what they did in game 1, holding OG back.
Yeah, I think they'd have taken an overtime in that first game a couple of minutes in. So far in this one, they've kept it at 0-0, but there is time for some FURIA pressure as Jan pass in the center. If he chooses to go for it, the ball just sticks to his octane like glue. It's ridiculous at times, but here comes Com. Players ahead of him. Jaffinho is almost faked out. In comes Nolly and JNabs. They race each other. Jan gets the save. That's not ideal from OG. Just getting a little bit itchy to go for the ball.
It's a scary double commit. It shows the want to try and drive this ball forward, but you can't do it off scary comms, yeah. Honestly, you guys got to be in control of where you want to go and where this ball is going to head. And for now, it heads back into the OG side. Jan leaves this one out. Lost is going to carry it from the ceiling and down, and a bump onto JNabs gives control back to FURIA.
In the first couple of minutes as well, we've seen JNabs go for that double commit, and whenever I look at him, he's low on boost too. So I would say if anyone's struggling right now for OG, just a little bit, it might be him, but of course he can step back up. But they do all seem a little bit starved. It seems that FURIA are controlling everything, despite the ball being in the orange half a lot more in game number 2. And I think you're right as well. It does seem clear to me that OG have definitely made a conscious decision to step up the pace. It's not necessarily their normal game, though, so FURIA could well lap it up.
Yeah, it's in an attempt to make FURIA uncomfortable. You also make yourselves a little bit uncomfortable out there. And although it's not as bad as it could be, nobody's managed to score yet, and that's a good thing for OG. You are still trying to figure out your footing against this squad, and FURIA do a much better job as of current holding onto this ball, holding onto the control, and deciding where things are going. This one pops up. It's backboard opportunity for Jaffinho, but it goes off wayside.
Another chance maybe coming in if Lost can get his touch right. Not quite on this occasion. Com does more good work. He's somebody that I've been impressive so far in game number 2. Certainly seems to be having the ball stick to him a little bit more currently than his OG Esports teammates. Comes Nolly, the player that I would say is most likely to be able to go toe-to-toe mechanically with Jan, but Jan just bludgeons his way through yet again.
A baby dunk to keep that lead for FURIA going in this game 2 here. And of course, it starts off with Jan, the player that is IGL'd FURIA from the get-go here in London, but those follow-throughs from either player on FURIA, honestly, what I've been looking for, and that's exactly what they are giving.
It's a decent kickoff there for OG Esports. And once again, they find themselves having to recover, having to respond, having to either stick or twist with the game plan that's got them a goal down 3 minutes in to game number 2. That one might be careening towards the net, not quite there. Com lips in quickly again. Nolly goes for the bump instead. A good decision from him. FURIA maintain their lead. Yan doesn't quite get the double tap for once. OG get away with giving the man space. Nolly, he gets the redirect towards net. This one's going to fall into the center, is it? There's a double commit. It doesn't matter. Com gets the equalizer.
The plan is finally in motion. OG continue to send 1 or 2 people up to cheat. Finally, this one pulls off and through, and it's a tied game for OG and FURIA.
Yeah, Nolly did well there as well. After getting his redirect, he didn't just rotate out. He saw Jufinho in front of him, went for that bump as well to make the finish as simple as possible. OG Esports back in the game. JNAP's out of boost though, sends it forwards. JNAP's is going to make a decision to go for the ball. No, he's not. Instead, rotates out, lets in Com. Been quiet with the bumps in the demos. I've barely seen him getting involved in the hustle and bustle of Furia's defense.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I think that means there is something up their sleeve they could use in this last minute or so, but it does have to come out strategically, and I think they know that. I think if any rotations get cut off as far as OG is concerned for a demo, FURIA very easily could take advantage of that one, and they're trying their best to do so now. Lost over 1 and 2. This one to the sidewall, but Lost can't get a second touch of his own. This one from the ceiling and down to the ground. Com, low boost. Jufinho, he wanted to try and put some pressure on it. Instead, this one stays back blue side, and OG continue to fight.
Yeah, just keep an eye on the OG boost totals. Finally, they've got themselves a couple of hundreds because they are all on about 7 or 8 between them for a good 10-15 seconds there as FURIA continue to turn the screw. Here comes Yan now around the corner. Nolly has to keep track of him. Somehow Yan just beats into the ball yet again. The man is playing with 1.1 times boost power or something. The amount of pace, the amount of extra speed he's squeezing out. He sends it across, but Nolly read that one. Towards JNAP's. Com thinks about coming in, decides against it. Hopefully for him, his chance will come soon. And the OT might be coming. You mentioned statistically FURIA in favor. Will OG push for the win?
We're gonna see here, 4 seconds left on the clock. It could get stolen away if it's still in play. Com, second touch off the wall.
Oh!
Shot opportunity from JNAPS, and OG deny the OT, and they take game 2.
And check out the reaction from Nolly as well. That was a pure celebration in the moment. Suddenly, belief is back.
A new land, a new dawn, and a new game. Game number 3 officially underway.
Well, what do we see now? Do OG Esports really start to go for the kill? Or do they keep this considered playstyle they've been showing up against FURIA so far? I love to see them up the pace, up the pressure even more to really take this fight for FURIA. Now, after a 0-second goal, FURIA must be somewhat shaken.
Yeah, that one probably caught them off guard just a little bit, but I think it's enough to keep this one going. Defense remains tried and true, and teammates mentioned this before on the desk. Right now, it is a pace versus poise, and OG Esports, they're keeping their composure despite the crazy reactions. Defense is still going strong as FURIA have all the pressure.
Yeah, it seems like they've been training with low boost as well. They knew that FURIA were going to steal all the pads, steal all the pills, get themselves around the pitch as fast as they want. How do you deal with that? How do you navigate through that swamp of FURIA's attack? JNAPS has been dunked there by Yan. Gets the ball forward towards the blue half again. OG had started this one better, but in the last 10 seconds or so, FURIA have just made a few statements of their own. And once again, tries to slow things down. It's risky because in comes Yan. He's on the side wall, his favorite place to be. He gets to the ceiling, he gets it, and Lost comes in, but Com watched and tracked the shot and gets the save.
And it's not going to end here. You have to get right back into things. You see Nolly trying to line himself up as these shots come through. The pressure never ends for FURIA until the last person's got no boost. Finally, a breakaway for Com. Immediately sent back by Yan. A pinch off the ceiling towards the backboard. Nolly on 8 boosts still manages to get the mid cleared.
My man's out here going for signature shots, such as his confidence. Here's Jufinho, he goes to the ceiling. Com in the corner, JNAPS has just got to keep that ball close. Again, all of OG completely starved. Where is the pill? Where are the pads? Where is all the boost? Where's the shot coming from? Jufinho!
There's really no words for a team like FURIA. It's pure pressure, and they know that. They own whatever pace of play they want on that field, and it makes OG uncomfortable. In game number 2, OG finally was able to match it a little bit, but FURIA said, no, we were playing at a 7, now we'll play at a 9, and now they keep going. Lead re-extended, trying to turn it into 2. As this one waterfalls down, it gets cleared out.
You got to roll with the punches against FURIA, it seems, and OG Esports doing their best to do that, but FURIA, they have that pet back. Here comes Yan, another first touch. Tempts in J-Naps, who manages to get a dunk towards Nolly. His first touch is a little bit loose. Rafinha's read it well as well. Up, that'll be fast. Just falls to Com, so a bit of ping pong until Com actually gets all the time in the world to deal with this one. It's just a pure 50-50 in the center there. Rafinha had to stay so alert and did. Yan nips in behind him, lost his pre-jump. It doesn't matter anyway, because Yan gets the second.
I feel like there almost was the idea, too, to fake the touch and confuse Nolly a little bit there. Just saying, if you leave it, Nolly doesn't know if I'm going to place it a little bit higher or lower. If you leave it alone, he'll confuse himself on it. FURIA take that second goal.
No, you're completely right. I think that camera angle showed it so well as well, what exactly Lost was attempting. It was a nice little fake there. He's got no boost this time. J-Naps, he buckaroos it forward. Nolly might be able to get a dunk, not quite. Rafinha steams in from the side. FURIA, their reflex is never an issue. They'll always be able to get that read. They'll always be able to get that sudden jump when it's needed. But 2 goals to the good. How do OG respond?
Well, right now, you just got to get 1 response onto the board. You got just over 2 minutes left to go, and it could turn into 3 goals on the board. FURIA back with the pressure. Rafinha off the ceiling. It's a great catch and clear from Nolly, and you see Com already upfield, and this is what we've seen so many times, but the pinch makes OG go back to home base, and they got to restart.
You probably expect to see that quite a few times in the next couple of minutes. OG gradually foray forward, and one huge clearance from FURIA just changes it.
Just a little pinch down into the corner here. Fight for control. Big clear there from Yan. And Com, the one player that as active as he is, feels weirdly quiet. There's not been a lot of action from him, and by action, I mean aggression. But speak for yourself if you are a J-Naps fan. He has been so far up and aggressive, ready to try and force this ball through. It's a great pass there from Nolly as well, as this one finds its way on into the net.
I don't think Rafinha respected the conflict reset quite enough. He missed the clearance from the side for once. Normally so comfortable coming in from those awkward angles defensively, and it does just allow OG a slightly open door to walk through. They still have to kick and scrap their way through it to really step through, but will they be capable? Here's Com again. It was his mechanics that opened things up before. To the ceiling, gets a touch towards J-Nap. Suddenly OG Esports are in up against Rafinha. No one's there for the follow-up. FURIA now is lost up against Nolly at an awkward angle, almost gets the bump. You've got to say, a third goal for FURIA doesn't look any less likely than an equalizer here.
Minute and 5 seconds on the clock here. FURIA looking to extend and make things much more difficult for OG. This one to the backboard, double tap and through from none other than Yan.
He's a bully, Hercules. He gets the ball, and the first thing he thinks, how can I punish OG Esports this time? This is just simple, but he has so much time, he has so much fear around him that they expect him to do brilliant things.
You talk about fear, but honestly, I feel like it's also just a huge amount of respect. He is commanding respect from OG, forcing them to prepare for any mechanic that he can drop at any time once he's given the space. And OG even tries to cut him off a little bit, and it's still not enough. And there you have it again. Nolly finally pushing this one forward. Can OG catch up? It's an opportunity taken away with 37 to go.
Nice little pop there from J-Naps to keep it in the corner, but Lost, he just takes control of the ball. Com can't get a touch on it. Lost is going all the way to the end, but it won't go in. OG stay alive for now. Rafinha comes in this time. Nolly, another save. Still 20 on the clock. This is doable for OG Esports. They have to score from this attack. In comes Com. It's him against Lost. He gets underneath him. Com is opening things up yet again.
All hope is not lost for OG. This is where they thrive, with their backs against the wall and under pressure. 17 seconds to go. Com has woken up. J-Naps is getting goal line saves, and hope is still alive.
Any kickoff plays? No, not this time. Just the standard into the center. Nolly, I thought for a second he was going to beat Rafinha to the ball. J-Naps tees up Com. Com's come alive for sure. He wants the flip reset, can't quite get it. Sends it to the side. Rafinha up against Nolly. J-Naps is waiting. J-Naps is sniffing a chance to shoot. Can't quite get it though. FURIA.
In games past FURIA, they just control the field.
My biggest hope for OG Esports is in the form of Com. He certainly came alive towards the end of that last game mechanically. We're still yet to really see him try and chase down FURIA. Perhaps FURIA moved too fast for that playstyle to work. You know, maybe it's a conscious decision, but I just sense there's a little bit more from him in the aggression stakes that he can use here.
It's fair, I think, to say that FURIA is probably almost a little unpredictable at where they can go as far as rotation is concerned, because there's not this super hardcore, clear pattern from FURIA. They're extremely adaptive. I feel like there's a million different versions of what they can do. They just know that for now, Yan is on it. If you feed him the ball and you create enough space for him, that's where they thrive. And I think OG is kind of struggling a little bit to find a plan to hold Yan back, and that's what's making this feel a lot slower for them.
Well, Yan is already in the air, just completely predicting OG's clearance there. His first touch wasn't ideal, but still, it found a way to fall to Drafinio, who could just shepherd the ball from one side of the map to the other. Early games have been fairly even between the two teams, and yet again, we see a minute tick by with no goals. Has lost goes for one and misses. Nolly uses his boost, gambles, getting that ball towards Yan. Unfortunately for him, Yan gets one flip reset, still keeps control of the ball, bumps Nolly out the way. That is just... I'm running out of superlatives.
I saw Nolly go up for this one, and I thought, wow, there really might be a chance.
What?
But it's just misplacement, misconnection, just... there's not even a word for it at this point. This team, they're so close to figuring FURIA out, yet they constantly are falling short in these key moments.
Sometimes you just got to step back and just think,
Throw your
how
hands
is
up.
that possible when you're watching it? I dread to think what OG are saying to one another. You know, as you mentioned earlier, you have to respect him, but you can't give him that much space. It just cannot be done. Anyway, here's Lost. Pinches around the corner. Yan is sniffing about. Gets a first touch onto the corner. Nolly and Com, the two of them queuing up to get this ball away. Drafinio up against Com. Com the man yet again. JNAP's in front of Com. Yan tracking. Here comes Drafinio. Wants to get the ball to Yan. Here we go again. From the wall, he gets the flip reset up against Nolly, but Nolly was up faster that time and got the ball, but Drafinio somehow still comes away with it. Even when they play it right, it nearly doesn't work.
Somehow Nolly kept that one going, but the pressure doesn't stop there. It's JNAPS and Com working together to clear this one out, and Yan still forcing the pass over to Lost. This one goes off the bar into the side, but pressure doesn't end. That's what makes FURIA so dangerous, is even when you think you've cleared it, you are somehow still throwing it into the hands of a FURIA player.
JNAPS was boostless there, but his challenge was good. Losing it towards Nolly allows OG to move towards the midfield. That's a good challenge yet again on Drafinio. JNAPS, the shooting chance. He goes high off the crossbar. Anybody following up? Not this time. Yan can get the ball away. FURIA survive a real chance there for OG Esports. And even Yan doesn't have the boost to make that one all the way to the blue goal. Com, he's allowed in. Drafinio up, Drafinio bumped. Yan going back to his own goal, gets it away. It's a bit of OG pressure though.
Yeah, OG trying to turn things around here on this one. You got just over 2 minutes to try and tie things up here. It's a slower pace of play from JNAPS. Takes a shot. It's long and wide, and Lost has that save. And these quick air transitions from FURIA really have just been the kryptonite of OG at this point. They're forcing OG into something that is very unusual for themselves, which is having to defend in the air.
FURIA on the cusp of making their statement. They are still a team to beat. They are still kings of the Swiss here on the world stage. If they can just get through this next couple of minutes or do even better than that, Drafinio makes it look simple.
Such an incredibly calmed pass here. Drafinio, he saw himself. He goes to the bar, down and back through. FURIA go up 2-0 and continue to head towards the round 1 win.
The pass from Yan as well was just inch perfect, weaving it between 3 OG players. And the finish wasn't too bad either from Drafinio. It could be a third as well. That one's going to be falling onto Drafinio's car. Now, OG Esports have made comebacks so far in this series, and they have scored multiple goals in particular games. Can they do it in the next 80 seconds? Now they have to show their wherewithal yet again and step up just one gear further.
This one around the corner here. Another attempt backboard to himself. This one, not the best of touches, which means a little bit of hope for OG can come through this one. Getting carried Nolly. This one gets taken away from Yan, and JNAPS up next in that plan to try and send someone forward. It's just not working out for OG. Thankfully, Com, though, in that deep third, anticipating those FURIA transitions.
JNAPS wants to get this one past Drafinio. Can't quite do it. FURIA look like they have the chokehold on this series. OG changed that late into game 2. They'll have to repeat the trick. Com, he has a pass to JNAPS. if he can find it. But again, it's high and it's looping, and it's exactly what Lost wanted. Side to side OG go. They have to get it back towards orange territory. Not quite happening for them now. And Com misses. It's all a bit scrappy from OG.
Yeah, this is a little uncomfortable, and probably the most uncomfortable we'll see OG. I don't want to discredit them. I think they are still an extremely capable and incredible team, but FURIA have figured out the Swiss stage. They have figured out where they want to come in, with what foot forward, what pace of play they want to set and command, and well, they've commanded a lot. Respect on their name, respect on the likes of Jaffinho. We do have a pause in these last few seconds, although
there will be a restart with 16 seconds left. Let's lock in. JNAP's going to the kickoff. Jaffinho.
Well, that's exactly what you didn't want. If you were OG, somehow.
Just off now. You finish this one. What's the point? JNAP's even Calm is like, for goodness.
Calm just threw his hands up, and it was like, okay, 14 seconds to go. Listen, I've seen 3 goals in 16 seconds. Why not do it in 14? Off the kickoff from Noli to himself. This one gets taken away from the man, the myth, and the legend.
Could be 4.
And well, with
oh my goodness, it's 4. Jaffinho's still giving it all that. Jaffinho's like, yeah, that's the goal, that's the winner.
You said lock in, they locked
They
in.
did lock in. OG Esports maybe trying too hard, you know, maybe overly into everything. But I mean, there's still time for a couple more goals if FURIA really want to go for the jugular here. They're going to do another play, are they? Nolly up against, that's a fake kickoff. It goes to Lost. Wants to bump out JNAPs. It's not going to happen. The game is going to end 3-1 to FURIA. It's going to be 4-0, 4-1. Maybe I back one more Jan Wonder goal. Do we believe? Do we believe her?
I dare him. I think JNAPs wants this to end terribly, though, and he will kill that ball. FURIA take the series 3-1.